listening to Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. Small town feel with big time ideas. After all, you are entitled to Brad's opinion. Here's your host, Brad Allard.
Well, isn't this a lovely day today, Josh? Nice blue skies, not too hot, not too cold. Today we have Frontline Equine, and they're going to tell us about their services, whom they serve, how they do it. This is something that some of y'all I know are familiar with, but others, this is a new guest for me. So y'all going to have to explain a lot of the stuff that y'all do and where you're at and how you got into it and all this other stuff. And but I did a little background check like I like to do, because I get people say, hey, I'd like to be on your show. Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, it's pretty legit, but I always want to make sure. And y'all, from what I can tell, y'all do really good service. And you're going to tell us all about it, right? So why don't y'all introduce yourselves?
I'm Janie Dan, and I'm kind of the support person at the barn because we are an all-volunteer organization. Mm-hmm. But I help care for horses, teach classes, whatever needs to be done.
And from what I gathered from our pre-show conversation, horses have been part of your life all your life.
All my life.
Yes. I don't know what it is. I was mentioning to the young lady here, Erica, about how horses and girls, I don't know, boys come and go, but horses are forever, isn't that right?
It is.
And what you do, who are you and what do you do for them?
My name is Erica Roberts. I'm a participant in the program. Mm-hmm. I've been a 911 dispatcher for going on 12 years now.
So you're a participant, and you can tell us from that end of it how it works, and then that's a good thing. Now, this is a nonprofit, all right, and where exactly are y'all at?
We are located on 917, just a mile east of 35. At Rancho La Rosa Stables. A lot of horse people will know that.
I drive by it when I'm on 917, right? Mm-hmm. Quite often. I mean, I kind of take a back route when I want to avoid all the traffic. When I want to get to the highway or something like that, I'll take 917. So I'll probably have driven by it dozens and dozens of times. So it's east of the highway about a mile, you say?
Stop by and see us.
All right. Okay, well, that's great. But before we jump into the deep end and all this, how it got started, what they do, how you can help, all this, let's thank the sponsors here and make all this possible. I bet y'all know this one right here, Our Place Restaurant. You've been there? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there this morning. Every other Thursday, my Sunday school class, the men anyway, get together to solve the world's problems, and we don't get very far. We talk a lot of football or whatever's going on. And I've been missing it because I teach a class at DBU on Thursdays, but now I was able because it's spring break and it was good to get back, and the food was great and service is great. Also, Gina's Pizza is another place that I really enjoy. It's also owned by Otto. I don't know if you drove by here. Did you come? Which direction? Come from the east or the west to get to the studio?
Came from 731. Up 731 from like John Jones area.
Okay. So you saw there's another Our Place opening up about 2 blocks from here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's going to, so he's Otto just wheeling and dealing. But Gina's is a place I like to go do business because it has the music, it has great pizza, and same service. So it's really a good deal. Also, our friends over at Old Pro Roofing, my friend John Williams is really busy. Did y'all get hit by the hail last week? I mean,
we were just south of it.
Right. And
we got it pretty good in Burleson.
Hey, well, I live 3 miles east of the highway, and I had about 2 minutes of it. It was a little pea-sized hill, but when I went to my BNI meeting yesterday, John was there. He's a member of that networking group. It sounds like the further west you went, the more you got hammered. Mm-hmm. And that happened to you, huh? Okay, well, do you need a roofer? There he is. John is a really good guy and is good, is an honest roofer. I mean, we have a lot of good roofers here. I'm not implying we don't, but you want somebody that's going to be trustworthy. And so call him at 817-734-2756, and he'll come check your roof out. And if you were spared, he'll tell you. He's not going to, just come and, oh my Lord, you're needing a whole new roof. When really you might just need a few shingles or nothing at all. He'll tell you straight up what this deal is. And it'll help you with the insurance companies. That's always a beating. So y'all nod your heads like you know what that's talking about. I actually have a good real estate agent, Melissa Harmon over at Texas Farm Bureau. I've had one time I needed to use it, insurance, and it came through real quick, so it was not a problem. But anyway, Old Pro Roofing, 817-734-2756. Now, if you're looking to move in and around an area, here's a good agent for you to talk to, Jeff Kelly over at the Wethington Agency, 817-781-0546, or Jeff at jeffkellyrealty.com. Boy, things are booming in this county. he tells me that Venus and Joshua and Godly are just exploding. And Burleson's still growing, but those other areas are even having more tremendous growth. You live in Burleson, as you mentioned. How about you?
I live in Greater Johnson County. Yeah, and it is booming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've lived here since 91, and I could tell you how much it's changed just in my time. When I live a little bit out in the country, and now they got all these developments going on, and have been for a long time now. But anyway, back to Jeff. If you need to move in this area or sell in this area, 817-781-0546 is the number you need to call. And all friends over at HotWorks. You nod your head.
I've been there.
You've been there? Which is your favorite one?
I've only been there once. My sister-in-law goes more regularly. It was an experience.
It's that infrared workout. I gotta say it slowly, or you'll sound like Elmer Fudd. Infrared workout really is a different kind of workout, right? Because it's not like throwing iron in the gym and you get all sore and beat up. It's supposed to help with the joints, help with the muscle strain, whatever, with that infrared workout. And they get various levels of strenuous activity, from high to low, and yoga and Pilates and the hot box, and it's all infrared. See, I did it again, infrared. I feel like I'm hunting wabbits. Anyway, so got that going on with HotWorks and Michelle Humphrey over on John Jones and Local Life Magazine. This Saturday, coming in a couple of days, we're going to have the Patty Pub Crawl in Old Town. I think there's still tickets available, so check out Local Life Magazine's website, locallifetx.com, and Tiffany Griffin will hook you right up. They also have this month's issue, it's on home services. And so goes to 30,000 homes. It's a great way to advertise. So that's good. Burleson Buzz here also, a local news blog, covers, Cody O'Brien will cover the city council meetings or what's going on in the schools. Centennial hire a new football coach and all this, and you get the inside story. I use his material for my radio show, so we kind of swap here a little bit. I say nice things about the Buzz, and he says nice things about me. Works out well that way. And Medicare counseling and therapy. We're going to have Jerry Kavanaugh on, who is running this outfit. Jerry's going to be on Monday. And what they do is that they do more than just help you get signed up for Medicare. Also, Medicare now covers counseling and therapy as well. There's a relatively new law. And so I know that, my parents, at the age they are and whatnot, for a lot of them who don't have maybe somebody else in their life, somebody's passed or whatever, there's a lot of therapy needed, grief therapy and things of that nature, and they can handle all of this stuff. So they're located on the third floor of, I don't know what the name of the building is, but everybody knows it as the building with the Rio Mambos in the rim, so it's on the third floor of that. And so make an appointment with them if y'all have this, somebody in your life that needs Medicare, or I'm about 2.5 years away. So, I'll probably need somebody to hold my hand to go through all the tangle of signing up. So Jerry's going to be on. I'm going to have to look up his number. I'm still not have it memorized just yet, but I will soon. It's like I said, it's over near the highway, so it's close by here. So it's nothing like oh well, there we go. Gerard Kavanaugh. Here it is. And the phone number would be, come on, there you go, 817-992-8034, or Gerard at MedicareCounselingAndTherapy.com is the email. So as far as nonprofits, we got a bunch going on, and next week I'm going to have a whole raft of them. I'm going to put them in a separate category. My friend Caleb Tomlinson is going to have a revival going on at the Uprising Church. It's on April 5th. It starts at 8 o'clock. It's for men. It's a men's conference, if you will, to talk about the issues that confront men, trying to have a Christian walk of some sort. And so it's April 5th at 8 o'clock, $25 tickets. I have all these speakers here, and lunch is provided. So it's going to be a really good time. Also that night is Light Up the Night with Center for ASD, the Autism Center. Are y'all familiar with that outfit?
Our co-founder's daughter attends there.
Oh,
and
really?
his wife teaches there. That's
Really?
a phenomenal organization.
Oh, so you're
yeah,
well acquainted with Lisa.
absolutely.
She was on the show last
Lisa's
week.
awesome.
Yeah, and she's been on the show several times, and basically when she takes over the show, she takes over the show. Anyway, that night they're gonna have Light Up the Night, and also coming a week on the 27th. I'll get that right, March 27th. I made a new friend the other day. I met her at the Chamber of Commerce exposition, the showcase, whatnot, and it's the Kindred Montessori Academy. They're starting up for next year, and they're going to have a raffle, or not a raffle, I'm sorry, a swap meet with vendors and craft sale and things of that nature over at the First Christian Church, okay, which is on Johnson. It's right next to the Early College campus where
That was our co-founders' church. They were raised in that church.
well, I've been in there
right.
for a couple
We
of
all
weddings.
raised them.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been there for like one funeral and 3 weddings and stuff like that. When it's been there a long time. When I was in that building right next to it, the school, it was the high school. Now it's the early college program. But anyway, March 9th, 11 o'clock through 4 o'clock. It's going to be crafts. There's going to be a couple of food trucks. There's going to be some ability to see what their program is about. I met their founder, Sarah, a couple of days ago, and it's off and running. So come check them out this coming March 29th. All right, let's talk about y'all. All right. Who wants to go first? Tell us how you got started. And okay, she pointed to you, Erica. So I guess you go. So you're a participant, right? How did you hear of this?
I actually work with one of the co-founders' brothers. He was sharing about them on social media, and I was friends with him. I saw it for a while, and one day I finally reached out, and it's just been a happy story ever since.
Yeah. Well, did you grow up with horses?
Here and there. I remember younger, my grandmother had horses until she was unable to care for them. I've been to the old cowbell in Mansfield, grew up in there, know some of those old cowboys from out there.
But what is your job right now?
I'm a dispatcher.
Where
Burleson.
Okay. All right. Here, the Burleson PD? Well, I have Colin Gregory on here once a month and to give him a hard time. So I believe his son is involved in this. Is that right?
Yeah, and his brother actually is one of the co-founders.
Oh, yes, because I saw Colin Tuesday night at a chamber event, and he says I was supposed to give you all a hard time. But anyway, no, I couldn't do that. So,
Erica will.
Oh,
yeah, okay, you will. So you're the one that makes all those calls. You're not a 911. You do 911.
So I'm a shift supervisor. I'm a little bit of everything, support that my team needs.
See, that must be a very
work a
stressful
position
job
as well.
And that's hence the whole purpose of this Frontline Equine is it's not so much like you're trying to use PTSD or recover from it or something like that, but it's almost like a preventative more than a restorative. Is that?
It really is a little of both, I think, just actively participating in it. Because public safety is a different breed. So talking about the issues, the specific issues that we face, it can be hard that somebody's that's not part of that world to understand.
Oh, I can understand. I can just imagine being a 911 dispatcher, the trauma that can cause. Some of those calls are probably from very dramatic and traumatic people and experiences, and they leave a mark.
And it's we all have kind of the same twisted sense of humor, so nobody looks at us too weird when we make a joke.
But we call it peer support.
Yeah,
peer support.
And, at the end of the day, that's what it's exactly what it is peer support. So like you're right, it's a little bit of preventative. It's a little bit of dealing with what we've already gone through.
How long have you been doing this?
Since July-ish of last year, somewhere about that time frame.
Okay. Well, this is very much needed. I'm not to put teaching on the same level as the kind of stress that y'all kind of deal with, but teaching can be a pretty stressful job, and particularly the last few years. And I always thought that teachers needed some sort of therapeutic output or something to do to try to relieve the stress, because if it accumulates, you carry it home with you, and that's not good. That's not good at all. And so this is a really good thing that y'all are doing. I'm sure most of your clients, Janie, are the police and firefighters, first responders.
Active military.
Right.
We have a military officer deployed right now. We have reservists. veterans, and we have a big group of combat veterans and first responders. So this is exclusively their community.
Well, so it's a way of building some sort of relationships between the people, and not just with the animals, but between other people in similar situations. Because that's another thing, is people get involved in these kind of professions and they think they're the only ones going through it. And it really wasn't until the very latter part of my career at BISD that they started recognizing the need for some sort of therapy, counseling of some sort. I do know that a couple of the getting my groups mixed up, the school board candidates and eventual winners have wanted to bring that more into the program for dealing with the stress in the classroom. And so you may start getting teachers, who knows, in your group. But so when did this outfit start?
We got our nonprofit in 2023. And I say we, I'm a support person. We're an all-volunteer organization right now, so I handle a lot of things during the day. But then it was important to make sure that we were properly funded before we started with classes. And so we waited and we did some fundraising, and we had some generous people who understand what we're trying to do here. And so we made sure that we had 2 years of funding in the bank before we opened our doors.
Well, that's good, because one of the privileges of doing this podcast is I've gotten to know quite a number of the nonprofits in this area, and they do it because they feel called to do it. They feel like this is what they're supposed to be doing, but they still have bills to pay. And fundraising is a 24/7 job.
It's one of the hardest things that any nonprofit deals with.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's ongoing.
Yes, it is.
And so we have tried, we will always be good stewards of our money. And we tried to make sure that we had enough of a base income that we could create a community for Erica and for all of our other participants.
So officially, then it sounds like about 2 years ago, but it sounds like y'all been actually doing this type of activity prior to that.
I have my son, who is one of the co-founders, Kai Gregory and Jason Ross are the co-founders, and Jason is a horseman. He's a good horseman. And Kai has brought a lot as a co-founder as well. And then horses have been a lifetime experience for me. So, and I've been instructing and teaching for 30 years. So.
Okay, when you say instructing and teaching, what does that look like?
Well, my specialty was more with people with disabilities.
You came from Wings of Hope, right?
I did, yeah. I came in early and really kind of helped form that organization. And throughout that experience, I just saw that, in fact, we started a veterans program there. But, and that I looked at that and I went, wow. Veterans, first responders, all the people in our community that run towards danger, they need a community. They need a place of their own. And what we do is provide that. And we kind of let the community decide what we're going to do, which is why we have some young horses that we're starting, which is why we have an untouched Mustang that we're gentling, because the people in our community said, we want to do this.
Well, so I know that Wings of Hope does mostly for a lot of children, primarily with disabilities and autism and whatnot. And you're not dealing with disabilities. You're dealing with, first responders.
Very different.
So it's a different service altogether, even if you're both using equine therapy.
Erica doesn't want to ride and put rings on poles. It's different. She wants to ride a young horse. She wants to help bring this horse along. You want to help with training. Your goals are different.
Yeah. I have 2 specific horses that are my favorite to ride.
Yeah, of course.
We have JT. He's 3 years old. He's something, man. And I never would have had that kind of experience with that level of horse without this program.
Well, you'll send us some material. We'll just throw some pictures up at random and we'll narrate what's going on, maybe a couple of clips and whatnot. We'll just let Josh pilot us through that. So here is a photograph. Is this you?
This is one of our participants, Sam.
Okay.
She was pretty new to horses when she started on, and just being able to watch her grow, like she's become a lot more comfortable and confident in her riding, not only her riding, but just her general horsemanship, groundwork, everything.
And this is her just after she came back from spending almost a month in North Carolina.
The hurricane relief.
She's a disaster relief
Well,
person.
That was about maybe an hour and a half away from my wife's parents. They live in North Carolina, or not that far from Asheville and all that area. And so fortunately they got spared that, but they know people that didn't. And so it can be pretty traumatic to see and deal with people whose entire lives have been destroyed in a matter of an evening. And so it's not just riding around, it's also you're caring for the horses, right?
It's everything horsemanship.
Everything from I've fed horses, I've doctored their wounds, we've done some of the not so pleasant necessities of making sure things are clean.
Oh, yeah. Cleaning out the stables. Cleaning out the stables.
Absolutely.
I've done that before when I was a kid, and they said, "Oh, I want to go clean the stables out there." Oh, that's no big deal until I went in there and started doing it. They treated my uncle and my cousins treated the old city boy like me. You go, yeah, it's fun. Go clean out the stables. It's a great time.
We also get the experience of Janie and I have hopped in the truck and been on a couple of vet visits unexpectedly.
That's right.
And our vet that we use, Dr. Trish, she's amazing. She's explaining everything. Like she really understands what we're trying to do and really accommodates that when we go out there.
Okay, what else you got, Josh? Oh, here we go.
This is Buck. When Jason first got him, he was priced to be sold by the pound. And Jason has done amazing work with this horse. His name is Buck for a reason.
Oh, yeah?
And Jason, this is probably one of the most
He's brought him
gentle souls you will ever meet is in that horse.
Well, a lot of these horses that are used to being around people, they could be pretty docile and easy to handle.
Oh, not this one.
Not this one, huh?
He was dangerous. There was a reason he was about to be sold by the pound, not just...
Oh, by the pound.
A friend of ours.
That's not a good thing.
A friend of ours at All Star Equestrian, which is an amazing therapeutic riding center, they bought him from a sale, and he was underweight and all of these things, and they got him home, and he was 8 years old, and I think they expected to throw a saddle on him, and things did not go as planned.
No.
So I got to talk to my friend, and we had the opportunity to buy him. And it was a good time for Jason, too, transitioning from law enforcement to the civilian world. And I think this horse just fed his soul for a very long time. And the horse we have now is not the horse that we had
This is the
a few
horse that
years
gave
ago.
me my confidence that I have on horseback. Because at first I was riding Val. Val's our tried and true horse. We could put anybody on him and they'd be safe all day long. And then I stepped up to Buck, and I was very intimidated by Buck because of his past. And it was actually another one of our other participants, Rick. He was like, "Erica, you can't judge a horse because of his past, just like we don't judge people by their,
No.
And so once Rick said that, I was like, oh crap, like he's right. And he's just an amazing horse.
Okay, what else you got, Josh? Oh, yeah.
There's Jason.
There he is.
That's Luna. And this is Belle over here. That looks like Belle.
It is
muzzle.
Belle. Yes. And you can tell because her muzzle's in his face.
I was like, it looks like Belle. The two of our younger girls.
Horses are more affectionate than most people think, aren't they?
Very strong social structure.
Yeah.
And better at body language than we are.
Really? Is that right?
Absolutely.
See, there you go. See, everybody I know that talks about horses acts like they're real human beings. Yeah.
No, but I mean, they're so sensitive. I mean,
smarter than human beings, even.
They really are.
Yeah.
They really are. I mean, when you're working them in a round pen, your body language, I mean, we can get them to run and stop just on what we're doing with our body, no words spoken.
Really?
Absolutely.
Even, and same goes for horseback. We're horseback. We're not yanking on the reins, making them stop. We're letting out that breath. We're sitting back. We're letting them know with our body what we want them to do.
It's interesting because, I'm reminded of John Wayne. I just saw something. I don't know how this came up, but I saw something on social media about how he loved that horse so much that he wrote in True Grit that he bought it because he knew that horse knew him just instinctively. That he said it didn't have to train it or anything. He just kind of knew what I was thinking. And I hear that story more than once. that when they start developing a relationship with the horse is developing a relationship with the rider, and it's almost telepathic how they can communicate, which is, it doesn't make any sense to me, but every horse person I've ever talked to will say, but of course.
Well, because your body language, they understand it. And so they understand if you're fearful or hesitant.
I've never been on a horse that scared me, but I've had some horses that didn't pay any attention to me. Let's put it that way. When I tried to say, let's go here, go there, and they go, we'll go our own way. It's almost like they knew they had some, newbie on the saddle. They didn't have to worry about it. And what else you got? There you are. This is another video clip.
This is Jason Ross. That's one of our co-founders, tuning up JT. He's a 3-year-old, 17 hands high, which means extremely tall. He's a green horse. He's a baby. He rides like a dream, but he still has his bad habits.
What's a bad habit?
Chewing my hair.
Yeah, okay.
He likes to chew my hair.
He's got a huge play drive, this guy. And,
he doesn't know he's a very, very large horse.
And so we are actively teaching him how large he is.
Yes. And he would just as soon be a little puppy sitting in your lap. But unfortunately, he's not.
That will not work.
Well, that's interesting. Well, by the way, where do you get the horses? Are they donated?
We have several. We have off the track thoroughbred donated by a first responder. We have a horse that we're starting that was donated by a local person. 4 of the horses are mine and Jason's. We just brought everything we had into the program. We're like, this is the future for our horses.
These horses that are donated, are they horses that are at the end of their life cycle, or is there other reasons why somebody would donate a horse to this program?
We really can't take a horse we don't want the 20-year-old horse. We want the horse that safety's always important, but the challenge and keeping up with this community and providing our participants what they need.
And that's the thing. Like we're not giving horses pony rides. We're training them. We're groundwork. We're riding. We're taking care of them. It's teaching them what they need to know while they're teaching us at the same time.
I was thinking, you talk about somebody giving a young colt. I'm sure there's some financial incentive, taxes and such, tax credits and whatnot, but that's not the usual kind of donation. Is it they don't have the ability to take care of it?
The tax incentive is secondary.
Right, of course.
So our young horse, Luna, really nice person, Jenna, she said, I'm not being fair to this horse. I don't have time to start her.
Right.
So we'll start her. And then we also have to think about a second income stream for the program. So we will create a good horse, and then we will find her a good home and sell her.
So I'm getting the impression, though, as somebody who has a horse that wants to donate really just doesn't have the wherewithal or the time to commit to it, because horses take a lot more commitment than a house cat, or something like that.
Absolutely.
I've known enough about that horses are a 24/7 obligation, and that if they can't take care of the horse, it'd be cruel just to let it idle in some stable somewhere.
And most of the people that we have our horses from, they were cared for, they were well fed. They're good horses, and I think what happened is they didn't have the time. Really an incredible trainer north of us, Colton Woods, had an untouched Mustang because he brings them in and trains them. He competes in the Mustang shows, but he had a new baby, and he didn't have the time. And Rick had really been wanting to gentle an untouched Mustang, and so Colton donated Taji to us.
Taji, yeah, okay. Well, that's... it's interesting because how old would, for example, an ungentled, I guess I'm learning the lingo, ungentled colt, how old is that colt?
She's 5 because she started her life in the mountains in Nevada, and then she was captured, and then she was
So we're talking about literally a wild Mustang. We're not talking
Absolutely.
about... Okay, that's interesting. We're not talking about a horse that was just born and the owner couldn't handle it and whatever else for whatever reason, time, money, whatnot. This actually was captured in the wild, huh?
Absolutely.
I didn't know. See, I don't really know if we still had horses in the wild.
We do. And we have 2 Mustangs that were born in the wild.
Are they different than the ones born in the stable in terms of how they deal with people? And
I mean, they're down to being fed differently. They can't eat the same food that this horse would eat. Their stomachs can't handle it. They're not made to handle it.
So what do you feed them? These wild Mustangs?
Hay, alfalfa
Alfalfa.
pellets, like depending on how the pasture grass is.
Okay. And then what will you feed this horse, the one that's been brought up in civilized?
Everything
he
and
can
everything.
eat. He's growing so fast and he's so huge. We just throw everything
Well,
at him.
that's probably one of your biggest
But more
expenses.
grain products. And,
That's your expenses right there, biggest one. Since y'all are volunteers, you're not, the payroll isn't the issue as much. But I know these horses go through a lot of provisions. All right, even my, rookie state, I know that the horses go through a lot. So, where do you get this? Where do you get the provisions to take care of these horses?
well, feed is, we have budgeted for it, and it's one of our big expenses. There's a nonprofit organization, Veterans Canine Equine Alliance, and they have stepped up for us to help us with hay through the winter. Even helped us with a new round pen we bought. And the total purpose of this nonprofit is to support nonprofits like us and help feed equines and canines who work with veterans. So
Well,
we
that's
do get
helpful.
some help. Oh, it's an incredible organization, and we love partnering with people like that. But we simply, you have to care for your horses.
Oh, yeah.
You care for your horses first so that you can run your program. And so we don't skimp on feed and care, and we know what a horse needs.
Well, it's not just, because they're such a valuable asset to your outfit, but also it just, I just noticed, I know everybody that ever owns a horse, they just fall in love with the horse, and they want to make sure that horse is as well taken care of as possible.
You really can't afford to skimp on feed. Like that's not something you can. Because it's ever changing. The way we fed last summer isn't the way we fed in the winter. It's not the way we're feeding now. It just changes. Their needs change.
What else you got, Josh? And there's another video clip.
That's little Taji.
That's the Mustang.
And that's
So-
Jason.
This is a fairly recent video. And this horse, nobody could get near her. When I say untouched, she was untouched.
I just know she has a sideways gait. Is that normal? Or?
She doesn't really want to look at him. She's like, okay, I'll follow you. He's teaching her to lead. And this is so foreign to her and so new to her.
How was she captured? Was it a part of a roundup kind of thing? Because I know they cull the herd sometimes, when they run wild, they do this with deer and quite often. But as far as they were just trying to round up strays that were maybe causing damage.
The Bureau of Land Management goes in, and that's a whole different subject. Mustangs, should we capture them? Should we not? But the reality is, there's only so much grass, and at this point, she came off a Bureau of Land Management property. And we just want to give her the best life she can have. And to do that, she needs to be gentled and trained, and she needs to get used to people.
Is it possible to take a wild Mustang like that and turn that Mustang into, a docile passenger horse, to turn it into a horse that young people could ride or that your clients can ride?
Absolutely.
All right. So it isn't like,
She's young enough. Like she'll get there. It may take a little more time than it would like a horse born in your barn, but she'll get there.
I just know, I just feel like the horses were made for this purpose, and every horse owner I've known will say, well, absolutely, because the relationship between people and horses is so strong. It's like people and dogs. Cats, forget them. But I think those two animals in particular just have a natural affinity for human beings. And, so you take one of these wild Mustangs, and maybe it's just genetic, maybe it's what got put in them, they just seem to have an affinity for human beings. And,
like there's a country song that says there's just something about horses.
Yeah, there is.
There's just something, we can't put our finger on it. And that's what makes this program what it is.
It feeds our souls.
It does. So really, this is therapy for y'all, it sounds like, more as much as anything
Unofficial
else.
therapy, yes.
Yeah. So, but anyway, let's go through a couple more, and then we'll talk about how people can help you with this stuff, where they can get a hold of you, where, and all the other aspects of it. What do we got here?
This is Justin.
That's
he's one of our
another Mustang
participants.
that came out.
And
I
it's
think
saddled.
she was also from Nevada.
They're saddled here, too. So is it, you're training this horse to be ridden?
She was actually, so there's a long story here. She's 15. She had some training, but then she was kind of put out to pasture. Now, a horse born in the wild will go back to wild. They just go back to being feral. They weren't born in a barn around people. And so we brought her into the program, and we use her a lot. She's really, we kid around. She's so quirky. We say she's like the donkey in the herd. And we say that in a good way. She just gives so much to our participants.
And you have to speak her language.
You have to earn it.
Yeah.
Y'all are talking like these horses have individual personalities.
They do. 110% they do.
You know, it's interesting listening to y'all talk. It's like, oh, this horse does this, and this one prefers that, and this horse is, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you're talking like, you know, not just they're all horses are all the same. They're all individual, it sounds like.
They 110% are. Like Rosie, something I really like to work with on her when I'm working with her is she doesn't like her ears being touched. So I like to just go up on her and love on her. And she's, I'm so uncomfortable, but I'm going to let you. And then eventually she just lets you. And that's very uncomfortable for her, just that basic human touch.
I love watching you do that. It's like watching active meditation. It's like, oh, Erica's going to get there. And you just, I don't even say anything anymore.
That's like when we first got her, you know, I was hand feeding her hay, hand feeding her pellets. And they were like, how do you just walk up to her? And I told our co-founder, Jason, I said, I hand feed her. I make her eat out of my hand.
Which is not the way we train, but it was kind of sweet at the time. Yeah.
That's interesting. But, you know, but here you are saying, well, this horse does this horse prefers that. You know, it's interesting. Some, I guess, are just more social oriented than others. Okay. And let's try one more we got here.
Aw.
This is one of my friends, Sam. I met her through the program, and she's riding Val, and that's me on my boy. I call him my boy JT. She's one of my good friends I met through the program. Me and her have become so close. She's really one of my sounding boards because
You talking about the horse or Sam?
both.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure.
Both.
Yeah.
It's different. You know, we have that bond. We now have at that time, we were two of the only female participants in the program, but now we have Sarah on. But I don't really want to air my grievances to what we call the combat cowboys. So I'll text Sam and bounce things off her.
The combat cowboys.
They are.
That's what we. So this one's just me and her riding. It's hard for me and her, our schedules to line up to get out there together. So when we do, we like to, document it. She's riding Val, and like I said, that's JT. And we were just kind of riding and getting comfortable.
Okay, let's talk about how this all works. Where are y'all riding? Is it around an fenced area of some sort?
So we have an arena. It's up closer to 917 right there. We ride there as often, more for the more riding with purpose type stuff, which is majority of what we do. Then we also have like a little pasture area we'll go ride and do little trail rides every now and then, because the arena gets muddy when it rains a lot, so we can't really do a whole lot when it's too bad. But yeah, we do a little bit of both. We ride in the arena, we ride in the pasture.
When it's really muddy, we work on trailer training. Horses have to learn to get in a trailer.
Round pins.
Round pin.
Okay, and so let's say that I had somebody in my life that I think could use this, or maybe I could use it myself. How does one get a hold of y'all?
Most people find us on Facebook. Just look for Frontline Equine. We pop right up. Also, we at frontlineequine.org. O-R-G.
That's what I looked up.
Yes.
And
And it'll take you right to phone numbers, websites, all the things.
And so, what kind of clients are you looking for? I mean, it isn't just for everybody, right? Like you said, you're not giving pony rides. It's not. It's not somewhere you just want to go ride a horse.
Yeah, and we're not. I mean, we have family days. Like, there's times we do bring our families out there, but the majority of the time, it's the first responders. I mean, like she said, we have active military, we have veterans, we have firefighters, we have policemen, we even have like a retired nurse. I mean, because she is. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
Well, if particularly if they worked like the ER or something like that. But
Yes.
I'm just was thinking. I mean, it isn't like, oh, I feel like riding a horse, or
No.
it isn't like a public stable or something like that. So,
and I mean, a lot of these horses, we like JT, we couldn't put somebody brand new who's never rode before. He's probably not going to be the best fit for that person,
Right.
Because he's not. I mean, but then we have horses available to the people that come in, like that we serve. If they don't have experience, we can work with that. I think that's kind of the point. Is that like I would teach them. I could teach them the basic things because I am still learning.
But
Josh,
that's important too. But that's important too. Is Erica comes in and she gets a certain level of knowledge, and then so certain classes for her, she'll work with Jason, and they will be working on her skill level. But then she steps in for the next veteran first responder.
So you actually teach
And volunteers.
as well.
Sometimes, not too long
Assist,
ago,
yeah.
assist. Not too long ago, I had one of my officers that I work with. He came out. He had never been on a horse before, so I was able to help him. And it's really, I'm still learning at the same time that I'm teaching him because I'm really good at doing. So I'm having to learn how to tell how to do.
Josh, will you throw up frontline.org on the screen? Frontline Equine.
FrontlineEquine.org.
Yeah, he'll throw it up there when he gets to it. He's real good at this. So the person comes in. Is there any kind of vetting process?
And they'll do like a little intake kind of session with Janie. She'll go through the basic like medical, anything that we need to be aware of, and then just kind of what their knowledge is, what their goal is. Because if somebody comes in like, I don't want to ride, but I'm interested in learning groundwork and doing this, they don't push you to do something you're not comfortable with, obviously.
So you have people that come that don't want to ride? I figured that would be the main attraction.
Not specifically, but we don't force anybody to ride something they're not comfortable with.
There's so much in communicating with horses and training horses, and a lot of your work is done from the ground. Erica can tell you what JT's going to do on any given day because she does groundwork with him before she rides him.
Now, this isn't your full-time job. It sounds like you're there more often than the horses, practically.
I love it. Even my daughter, I have a 5-year-old. She's like, Mom, are we going to the barn today?
Oh, okay.
I was like, no, Mommy needs to go by herself. But
All right, he's getting it prepared on the screen. It takes like 10 seconds to transfer it over. But as far as so I know somebody or myself, I come, I talk to you, you say, well, this is what we think you'd be best fit for, as opposed to, well, we'll pick you out a horse and we can go have a good time. It's a program.
It's a program.
Where I'm getting at.
yes.
It's not just it's just not an afternoon's fun. It's like a whole structured program of trying to deal with whatever issues your clients have.
I think Sam came out, it was going to be a quick 20 minutes. I think because she knew Rick, I'll stop by because they have this horse program. And I think she stayed for 4 hours, and she comes several times a week now.
Yes.
That's the other thing is if Erica and Sam can get to the barn at the same time, we will make that happen for
There
them.
you are. There's your website. And it also, as far as, has the programs, our program support, and all that. At the end, we need to definitely make sure we have gone over how people can help with this program. So you get people come out, and is it like it sounds like you have like a curriculum, if you will. And that's just old teacher, talking, but it sounds like it's not just haphazardly done. It's you got a plan.
Oh, Jason has put together a curriculum. The big three.
The big three.
Don't mess with the big three.
And the big three is?
Go ahead, Erica.
Yeah. The big three. Sounds like you
The
violated
big
the big
three
three.
is just really, there's so many important things. We know our horses can go fast, but we want to know either from the ground, and the big three is from the ground, can you stop them? So the big three is kind of how you disengage their hindquarter to stop them, how you get them going in the direction you want. But yeah, it's the big three, and we all try to adhere to that. And I love that, because we don't have a lot of tools, because we're bringing people in who may have never been around a horse before. But with this curriculum, and it works well. We all know the big three, and then we can teach it. Now, does everybody pick it up day one? No.
I don't know.
So you may see some of the big three even on our Facebook feed or something that's not quite perfect. But the purpose of this program isn't to be perfect. We want people to learn.
I noticed you reach for the water. Big three. I better, I'm going to duck out of this one. All right, well,
I'm
fine.
sure I'll hear about it from Jason.
Yeah,
I know.
But this is also not for children, is it? I mean, you say your daughter goes there, but she's not a client. She just.
And it's not all the time, but it's one of those things. I am a single mother, so there's times where I don't get to go if I have a kid, but. They're like, oh no, like you're not using that. You're coming. Like, like Rick, my daughter thinks the world of Rick and Jason.
Sure.
Like, and it's funny because it's just funny to see her interact with these guys. But at the end of the day, if it wasn't for them, like there's weeks I wouldn't be able to come.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to participate, but I still need that support from them, especially if I've had a rough week. Or Janie, she loves Janie.
Oh, sure.
Janie's such an important part of the program too, even though she says she's the barn mom, but she's also a very important part. Like my schedule, I get the instruction from Jason, which is the point of the program. Veterans teaching first responders, etc. But I mean, at the end of the day, like we're a family. Like, and if there's like I said, we do have family days. There are times when our kids can come out there and our families, but it's not like it's every time. It's not all the time.
Right. But it's, again, this isn't like something like, a kindergarten class would come out there and something like that. I remember when my kids were younger in elementary, kindergarten, they were going to Holy Cross at the time. They went to somebody's stable and all this other stuff and that kind of stuff. But this isn't really like that.
No. Unfortunately, I mean, we're not. But the great thing is that we do have Miss Janie, and she's aware of all the things that, she can, we're not the fit for them. But she's like, I have full confidence that she could say, hey, check out this group. This will be a better fit for you.
Well, I'm sharing this with
program,
others here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just sharing with other groups. So go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
In our program, so Erica will work with Jason because this is veterans and first responders, teaching veterans and first responders. But she's learning really high-level stuff. She can't go a week and come back and work with Jason for an hour. She wants to come out on her days off and she wants to process and practice what she's doing. It's not a pony ride. She's training. And you can't do that in an hour a week. So, if Parker needs to come, she's great. And Parker loves dirt, and that's perfect for the barn.
Yeah.
We put her in a safe place in the dirt, and she's golden.
Parker's your daughter, right?
Yes.
Okay. She go to school around here?
Yeah, she goes to Norwood Elementary.
In Norwood, all right.
That's my girl.
Yeah, how about that? I am still partial to a lot of our elementaries. As a former high school teacher, I still thought our elementaries at BISD were probably one of their strongest assets. So there you go. But anyway, now as far as people wanting to help participate in this financially, what does that entail? I mean, how could they do it? Is the best way to answer it. That was a weirdly worded sentence, but how can they help you financially?
Well, we mentioned before that nonprofits, this is our biggest challenge. We want our organization to be around in 100 years, and we want to be doing the same thing. You can donate on our website. A lot of people just prefer to write a check. You mentioned First Christian Church Burleson. They prefer to write a check, and they raised our co-founders, and they support us as well. So basically, you can go to our website. You can send us an email. Our phone number's on the website. You can call us and let us know what your goals are and how you'd like to partner with us, and we will figure it out.
And HEB has also helped us in the past as well, as far as, because there's days we spend all day out at the barn. We get thirsty. We get hungry. So water, HEB has been really good to us as well.
It's amazing. HEB does a lot of these things. I bet the one common donor to all these donations, all these organizations I talk to, HEB is there. That and Texas Health Hughley.
Yes.
But HEB is a very good community citizen, no question about it. As far as financially, though, there is a donate button, I assume.
There is.
And are you set up for like monthly recurring donations like
We
the
are.
others? Okay. So from everybody I've ever talked to in the nonprofit world says that's the best kind of donation because you can budget based on that. You know, if somebody gives you a $10,000 check, you'll take it gladly, right?
That's right.
But they count on the monthly people, for budgeting. And you say feed has to be your biggest expense.
Rent and feed.
Rent. Okay. So you're renting that's facility.
We are.
Yeah. But the feed is like everything else, I'm sure, is rising in cost.
And it's seasonal.
Yeah.
Getting through the winter, a lot of hay, and then and grain, and then through the summer months, we kind of let God let the grass grow, and we can reduce the grain and cut out the hay. So getting through the winter months is always a challenge.
You also probably gladly take donations in kind, like a hay bale or a round of hay,
Absolutely,
and things of that nature, or feed or tack or whatever else you need. So that you can accept donations in kind. But again, I've heard, the monthly donors or what make it work. And the thing about it, I've learned this also, is that a lot of people think, well, I can't give $10,000. What's my $25 a month or $10 a month going to do? Oh, so
it's
much.
incredible.
Your $25 a month will make a horse very happy when his stomach's full.
Yeah.
Right. You and all your friends, right? $25 a month. That makes a huge difference
really
to an
does.
organization like ours.
It's like I always liken it to the widow's mites, in the New Testament story about this old lady tosses in a couple of pennies, and Christ says that she gave more than anybody than all these rich dudes that were throwing in big chunks of change, and that's how these things work. I mean, next week I got Next Step Women's Center, and they would absolutely tell you that loose change makes a big difference.
Well, and if you have a really big donor and then the donor, for whatever reason, they're a one-time donor or they decide to go a different direction, that's a big amount of money. But you have your community, and we really are here by the grace of the community. You have your community each throwing in a small amount. That's a big amount. And it's meaningful to us.
And, it is tax deductible, but I'm going to tell you right now, that's not going to be the primary motivation because the way the tax laws are structured anyway, you're not going to meet that deductible. So the deduction point, unless you just are exceptionally wealthy. So, that's not going to motivate you to do it. From what I understand and what I've experienced is that almost the gift giver is probably being more blessed than the gift receiver. Because, and I mean, y'all are blessed, obviously, to get the money, but the gift giver, I don't know. That's the best way I know to participate because, I don't know anything about horses, and I don't know how to, exactly what y'all need, but y'all do. And so I would encourage people to listen to this. I mean, there's a lot of groups out there, and you probably should have everybody spread their money out a little bit. But I think this community is really, really good about supporting nonprofits. But they all, like we've been talking about, it's a 24/7 deal. And that's just the way it is. I mean, when you got the services you provide, you got all those consumables, I guess you'd call them, that you have to take care of. When a horse gets to a certain point, that really, it's like not able to handle the load anymore, whatever else, do you just retire the horse?
We haven't come to that yet, but we've talked about it. And there are horses. JT is one of them. He will never leave us. He will just be part of this program. And I think probably, and when that time comes, they're not only frontline horses, but before that, they were Jason's horses and my horses. And we will always look at the horse's best interest.
Right. Well, we're almost out of time, so I'm going to let y'all finish this off. But I want to throw a couple of things. Josh, if you throw the radio stations on. First of all, 88.3 The Journey I'm partnered with them, the Christian station out of Keene, and they don't play my shows, but they do say, hey, this is what's going on Mr. Allard's neighborhood. So hopefully, some people hear this and tune into the show and see what y'all are all about. So also on my station on Community Radio TX, it's I'm going to have you on at 6 o'clock tonight and 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It's on Live 365, Odyssey. Odyssey's a sound program. Try it again. Tune in, Odyssey, Live 365. And there you are. It's all that. But anyway, that'll get hopefully some people involved. Plus, it'll be on Apple and Spotify about 10:30 tomorrow, and hopefully that'll get some coverage. You never know. Think about this coverage. If you look at it, you say, "Ooh, that show didn't get any views," and then you look at it like a week later, oh, it really did pretty well. You never know, So that's why I don't look the day of the show, because I might think, oh, this is going to be a great number, and that's really the top end. And then I've seen other shows that I thought, well, that didn't work. And then a week later said, wow, that's one of the better shows I've had in terms of numbers. So you never know. But I'll let y'all finish this off because, tell us what you want us to know about Frontline Equine. Who goes first?
Go ahead, Eric.
I would just say, if you're a veteran first responder locally, I mean, we have people coming in from Dallas when they can. I mean, it's worth the drive. It's worth checking out. It doesn't matter if you have horse experience. It doesn't matter if you've ever been around a horse, touched a horse. It's just as much about the peer support being together than it is about the horses as well.
Okay.
And I think the only thing I'd like to say is thank you for helping us get the word out.
Oh, it's quite all right.
These are the opportunities for people to know who we are and understand who we are and get to know Erica and get to know all of our participants. That's why we're here.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. I started off 5.5 years ago just hollering and yelling about Trump's latest outrage or what Nancy Pelosi's doing to ruin the country. And here's what the show's evolved to. And so, and I like this a lot better, actually. I know it's a lot more useful, I think.
You're building a community.
I hope so.
That's what you're doing. So. And you're helping, you're the part of the glue that holds it together.
We'll see about that. Y'all are very kind. Josh, thanks for all your skill on the keyboards.
Anytime.
Well, actually, next week we have 3 shows because I got booked up a little bit. Normally I do 2 a week, but sometimes we can squeeze in another one. See, who do we have? I'll make sure I get it right. I know on Monday I have Jerry Kavanaugh with the Medicare Counseling and Therapy Group. And Tuesday I have Melissa and Sarah from the Chamber of Commerce. Are y'all members of the Chamber?
We will soon be members. That's part of the problem of being an all-volunteer organization, but we discussed that at our last board meeting.
Well,
and Melissa's a force to be reckoned with. And I just want to be her friend. She's awesome.
Well, when she and Sarah get on the show, I just kind of say, how are y'all doing, ladies? And then I go, check out for half an hour. They take the show over. Yeah. We call them Lucy and Ethel around here. But no, they'll be on. I went to a chamber event Tuesday and they do a great job. So yeah, I would encourage you to join the chamber because there's you make a lot of connections and there are other nonprofits there as well. So, and then speaking of nonprofits, next Thursday have Megan and Summer going to be here for a Next Step. They got their Walk for Life coming up in late April. So boy, like I said, there's a bunch of stuff going on. And a lot of the fundraisers for the nonprofits are held in the spring or early summer. And then they have another round, usually around October, November. So anyway, I appreciate y'all coming and I appreciate what y'all do. I really do because this is needed stuff. This really is. And it's almost touching to see how much you love these horses. It really is. So,
well, we want to take care of the people who take care of us. These are all veterans, first responders. They have stepped up for their country and community, and we want to give them the program they deserve.
Okay. Well, like I said, tonight it'll be on the community radio at 6 o'clock, and then 1 o'clock tomorrow. Y'all share this with your friends, guys. Let the word get out, and we will see y'all Monday.